Okay, welcome. Appreciate you guys being here. I am excited about this topic, and we're going to do a meditation for a big part of this, but I do want to just prime everybody into this before we go into the meditation about what we're actually doing in the meditation. So, I entitled this like Finding Peace in the Present Moment, but are you guys familiar with like the concept of non-duality?
Yes.
Yeah, refresh me, please. But yes.
Cool. So it's about and a lot of like mysticism and ancient religions and stuff talk about this non-duality, which is really about going into the observer, like seeing what is observing and what is aware. Hi.
Okay.
Um,
Sorry.
seeing what is aware of everything, right? Which is really our true nature, which is nothing but pure consciousness. Um, Now, the problem about talking about this and talking about non-duality and talking about this is that we're pointing towards something that is beyond the conceptual mind. And so the mind is going to try to grasp it, but this actually can't be understood by the mind. So it's kind of like a little bit of a catch-22. And so I'll guide you guys through the meditation in this, but you might even hear your mind say like, "Oh, I get it now," right? And if you hear that thought, that's actually still the mind then trying to like claim it. And so that's the funny thing about this. Um, so I just ask you to like be curious about this, like, and try to feel into it versus trying to conceptualize it up here. Um, cool. So basically, who are you beyond your thoughts? Like, who is aware of the experience that you're having right now? And what you want to say typically is you're going to say, "Me, I am aware of this," right? I, but who is that I? And if you think about your entire life has just been a set of experiences that you have been aware of, right? You're aware that you're a boy or a girl when you're young, right? You're aware that you have a body, you're aware of your name, you're aware that you have parents, and so everything is just things that are passing in your awareness. But what we want to do is shine a light on the subject rather than the object. We want to shine a light on what is aware. What is it that is aware? So I think a good way to try to explain this is through analogies. So I like the analogy of a sunbeam. So you have maybe like one beam of sun, right, that's coming out and it's pointing outward all the time. And so it thinks that it's separate from the other beams of sun. But actually, it's not until it draws its attention inward and looks behind it that it sees that it's actually the entire sun in just one individualized form. And that's what we're trying to do here, right? Because we are a divine fractal of consciousness. Like there's just one divine consciousness, and we are one fractal of that. I like to use this drawing. Don't mind just the very basic drawing of this. Um, but there's one universal consciousness, right? Can you see this?
No, it's blurry.
Oh, it
Blurry.
is. Oh, because I
Your
have,
background's blurred.
yes, that's why. Oh, shoot. Let's see if I hold it closer this way.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so one consciousness seeing through a multitude of lenses, right? And so that's us. These are basically just like lenses, right? Our experience is just like an aperture, a lens that we're seeing through and having an individualized experience. Um, and that's what the ego is. The ego is just the belief in separation. It believes that we are an individualized, separate self and not um, connected to the whole, but we are an expression of that whole. Another analogy could be a wave in the ocean, right? A wave has an individual manifestation, but it's still always part of the ocean, right? And it has an individual manifestation, and then it goes back into that oneness. And this is what we want to try to have, this experience of oneness while we're here in physical form, right? Because then when you understand this on that deep level, life becomes more peaceful, right? Because we understand that everything that we're experiencing is just things arising in our consciousness. And we don't have to get like hooked onto everything, because the belief in separation is where our suffering starts, right? That is where our suffering starts, and we get attached to things the way we believe things should be, um, and 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 there's just a lot of suffering in that. And so when we start to realize that we are just this fractal of divine consciousness, we can flow with life a lot easier. Does this make sense? Okay, cool. Um, or the ego, or I call, I don't like to use the word ego, because I think a lot of times we have this like negative um, thoughts around ego, like the ego's bad, right? And we don't want an ego. But it's actually not good or bad. It's just, it actually is, it helps us have an individualized experience. Without the ego, we wouldn't have an individualized experience. So there's a lot of good that the ego does. And it's just not the full picture of who we really are. And so if we think about who we believe ourselves to be, it's nothing but a set of thoughts and stories about ourselves, right? Even the thought like, I am a woman, or my name is Adrian, or I am a coach, right? Those are all just concepts. It's not truly who I am, right? And so we want to go beyond this mind-made self, right? We want to kind of see through this illusion um, that the ego constructs for us. Now, I like to warn people that sometimes this can be a little scary or destabilizing, because when you start seeing through this, it's the ego that gets scared, because it knows that this means the death of it, right? When you see through this illusion, then there is no more ego, and it's the death to the ego. So it can feel a little scary. So notice that if in the meditation, like a little fear comes up, and that's okay. It's actually like a good thing, because it kind of means that you're cracking that armor a little bit, right? And just know that it is the ego that's scared. It's not your true self, which is just this ever-present, unwavering awareness that's behind everything. So, yeah. The other thing I like to talk about too when discussing this is that we have an intelligence in our body, right? Like there is something in your body that is beating your heart, that's pulsing blood through your veins, or every cell is orchestrating perfectly to keep you alive. And it is that same intelligence that's the intelligence that rotates our planet perfectly around the sun, and that turns an acorn into an oak tree, or that a bear senses to go hibernate for the winter. Like we are part of this greater intelligence. And again, it is that same intelligence that is seeing through these eyes. And so it's really cool to think about that. So sometimes during the meditation, I'll have you like draw yourself into the body to like try to feel your heart beating, or just try to get in touch with that innate intelligence that is in your body, because that's a beautiful bridge to this, to the unmanifested, or to this divine intelligence that is in all of us. Um, this definitely is not something to get, right? This is not about getting it. This is just about seeing and uncovering what is already here. Okay. And on a level, like you already know this. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. Um, that I'm just erecting you um to look at what has been so obviously there this whole time, but we get so clouded by the mind and we believe we are the mind. We believe we are our thoughts. But when we start when we start disidentifying, I should say, with our thoughts and with our feelings, we find that there is this spacious peace that has always been there behind all of the noise and all of the chatter of the mind. Um, and the last thing I'll say is that you are not the person that you think you are. um, that you're just not that person, right? It's not the full picture. There's so much more to you than who you are in name and who you are in form. And that's what this is about, right? We're actually just here having an experience of limitation. And we want to now have an experience of our limitlessness, right? Because pure consciousness doesn't have any limitations. And so, in order to do that, what we have to do is withdraw from our senses, right? And withdraw from all forms, even thought forms, as we go into this space and um, turn our attention onto consciousness itself. I know it's a lot of information. Um, cool. Well, let's do the meditation.
Right.
So get comfortable, and if you want to shut your camera down, feel free to do so. And get comfortable. And take a big deep breath in through your nose. And exhale out your mouth. Releasing any tension. Maybe do a body scan from the top of your head down to your toes and just releasing any tension that you're holding, giving the signal to your body to completely relax. Take another big deep breath in through your nose and exhale even longer through the mouth. And take one final deep breath in, the deepest breath that you've taken all day, and hold it at the top. And then take one more sip in, and then exhale as slowly as you possibly can, sinking into your chair, letting your body totally relax. And now just sit and observe any thoughts, any feelings, any sensations. Observe them without judgment. Notice that your thoughts come from nothing and return back to nothing. Notice who is observing those thoughts. Who is hearing my voice? If you hear your mind say, I am, investigate that I. Notice that awareness that sees the thoughts or hears the thoughts. Does that awareness have a shape? Does that awareness have a name? Does that awareness have a boundary? Notice if your mind has any judgments. And you can just allow them to be. You don't have to stop any thoughts. You just don't get invested in them. Let them just pass by like clouds in a sky. You are that sky, that spacious awareness. You are the awareness where the thoughts, the feelings, and the sensations arise. Think back to when you were a child. You were aware of a body that you were in. The body has changed, but you have not. Turn your attention to that which is aware of the body. Think about all the feelings that you felt throughout the years. They've come and gone. But you, awareness, have always stayed the same, ever present. You can allow any feelings to come and pass right through. And you, spacious awareness, can hold it all. Investigate this unchanging I. You are that which never changes. See yourself in your mind's eye. If you can see yourself, how are you that? You are that which is projecting the image. You are consciousness itself. Bring your awareness to your feet. Can you feel the energy in your feet? All the cells buzzing around, the blood pulsing through your veins. And again, if there are any thoughts, just let them be. Don't get invested in them. Feel the aliveness in your feet. Move up to your calves. Maybe you feel your clothes on your calves. Can you feel the skin? The cells? All the blood running up and down. Fascia. All being held together. Without you having to do anything. Now bring your awareness to your thighs. How do they feel? Is there a temperature? Can you feel your pants on your thighs? Can you feel the energy running up and down them? Can you feel the bone inside? Now bring your attention to your hips, your pelvis area. What does that feel like? Is there any discomfort? Any warmth? Think about the organs inside this area. All the energy in there. Everything working on your behalf. Run by this greater intelligence. Moving up to your abdomen, lower back, and torso. All the organs inside there, keeping you happy and healthy. allowing you to digest delicious food. All the things it does for you, your spine, trillions and trillions of cells, all working on your behalf without you having to think about it at all. Moving your awareness up to your chest, thinking about your lungs and your heart. Maybe you feel your clothes on your skin. Maybe there are some sensations inside as you put your attention on it. Think about all the energy that's created from all of the blood moving, all the cells moving. Maybe feel around to the back side of your heart. Moving up to your shoulders and your neck. Notice if there's any tension in the shoulders. Think about your spine holding your neck up, your head up in place. All of the pipes and organs that allow you to speak and eat. Bringing your attention up to your scalp. Think about all the thousands of hair follicles on your scalp. Behind your ears. Now bringing your attention to your face. Think about all the structure inside your face, the eye sockets, the eyes, the nose, and all the things that these parts do for your body, your teeth, your tongue. Maybe there's some tension in the jaw. Where we place our attention is where we place our energy. So when we divert attention away from the mind, it's not giving it more fuel. Also, our attention is love. So when you give your body attention, you're giving it love. Notice any thoughts and just let them go. You are that which is aware, spacious awareness. Notice the commentary of the mind. And just don't get invested in what it has to say. Start taking some deeper breaths. To wiggle your toes and your fingers. Coming back to this present moment. And when you're ready, you can slowly blink your eyes open. Welcome back. How did that go? Good.
Good practice in separating from the thoughts. It's constant.
It's constant. It's funny because the thoughts are like very tantalizing, right? To like our attention wants to follow them. It wants to go down that rabbit hole, right? So anytime we bring our attention back, it's a win. Um, I know like Eckhart Tolle says that it's like a dog picking up on a scent, right? Like a thought will come and all of a sudden the dog's like off and running, right? Um, and I was actually laying in bed the other morning and I was noticing how all of a sudden I would be down a rabbit hole in my mind, and then I would bring myself back and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm here. I have a body. I'm present, right? And it is just funny how like how wrapped up we can get in it. So it really is just a practice. Every time you bring yourself back, it's a win every time. It doesn't matter how long you were gone for. Every time you bring yourself back, it's a win. We've been trained to be very attached to our mind. So it takes some time to kind of separate. So I like to think of it like this is our true selves, and this is the mind. And it's so close, right? That we think that this is who we are. And so we just want to start creating like a little bit of space and realize that this is not us, that this is us. Um, but again, we've lived like this for so long that it's just a matter of undoing some of that. Any questions?
I appreciate it. Makes me realize how valuable the daily practice is.
Yeah,
I
cool.
appreciate you. Thank you. You did great. Great meditation leader.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're good at that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Wonderful. Well, really appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, I might have to change the time next month because I've been finding that not many people can make this time of day. So I do appreciate you all being here, and yeah, look forward to hopefully seeing you at the next one.
Thank you so much. Good to see you again.
Yes, you too.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.